Hello there, what is going on, everybody? We've got some leaks. Gar Saxon coming to Star Wars Legion, more Mandalorian news, and what else could it mean? How are they going to look? We're going to talk about what we know, and of course, probably speculate a little bit as well. If you guys are new here to the channel, we are doing a $25 Amazon gift card giveaway. All you have to do is be a subscriber and leave a comment on this or one of my videos. We're also still giving away, there's still time left to enter to win the Luke Skywalker giveaway. That is in my how to build Legion miniatures video. Details for that's going in April. We're going to be announcing the winner for that. I'll put a little link at the end of the video. You can check that out as well. So big thanks to today's sponsor, Luxury Playstyle. Amazing full metal tokens. They are absolutely gorgeous. Order tokens, combat tokens. We got aims, dodges, standbys. We got surge, suppression, damage. They're all double-sided. They're absolutely fantastic. You're absolutely going to love them. You're going to save 15% by using code Crabbok VIP. So let's talk about Gar Saxon. You know him maybe first from Star Wars Rebels. Showed up fighting Sabine. We also know him from the Clone Wars, Season 7, The Siege of Mandalore. He donned the coveted Mandalorian armor, and that's kind of and he was a pretty big deal. He was a pretty tough dude, and he had a brother, I think Tiber, but wasn't really as big. I think it was just in like one episode of Rebels, but Gar Saxon, bad dude, and it looks like he's going to be part of the Shadow Collective that's coming out. We found this out due to a leak from 401 Games. This was kind of posted on the Star Wars Legion Reddit yesterday, and we can see that Gar Saxon as a commander expansion will be available, as well as the Mandalorian Super Commandos, probably Mandalorian Super Commandos, and of course, Gar Saxon is priced where a commander expansion would be, or commander or operative, a single miniature will be priced. Super Commandos priced where a single squad would be priced. So this is pretty cool. It's interesting that just these two and not like everything, but it makes me wonder what all else is going to be coming out with this expansion, with the starter box for the Shadow Collective. We do know that the Shadow Collective is going to largely be based off of Darth Maul's Battle Force, the kind of how they're doing sub-factions right now, and he does have those Mandalorians in there. Now, I guess one question is the Mandalorian Super Commandos the same as the Mandalorians, or will they be slightly different? Because early in the announcement life cycle, Atomic Mass Games had said that both the new Maul and the Mandalorians would not be usable outside of the Shadow Collective, which is very interesting to me. I wonder if the same holds true for Gar Saxon and this Mandalorian Super Commandos, and that's what I want to talk about a little bit, because I think it's potentially very interesting, because if we go back to Star Wars Rebels, we can see that the Mandalorian Super Commandos, as they were rightfully called, were certainly in employ by the Empire. These guys were absolutely Imperial. Gar Saxon was absolutely Imperial. He was 100% working for the Empire. He had been conditioned, and he led Mandalorian Super Commandos. Now, obviously, this is a slightly different kind of look than we saw in Clone Wars, right? These are no longer Maul's dudes, although he did kind of keep a little bit of that red, whether it's to signify command or if it's just a slight little nod to his former boss. Or maybe he just really likes red. It certainly looks good on him. But yeah, so it makes me kind of wonder if they'll be usable in Empire, or if they want to say that to be a separate, like a Concord Dawn type of battle force. The Concord Dawn protectors were initially in league with the Empire, so I think there's a lot of potential there. It just makes me want to go back and watch all of Star Wars Rebels last season again, or maybe the last two seasons all over again. Like just really good stuff. Maybe just all of Star Wars Rebels. We'll just do that because it's a great show. But yeah, so it certainly kind of makes me wonder. Well, did they misspeak when they said that the Mandalorians would only be usable in Shadow Collective, or is it possible that they will have two different unit cards? right? Maybe they're a little different. Maybe they're a little older here. Maybe they're a little bit more tame now that worked for the Empire. When they were there, maybe they were a little more vicious when they worked for Maul. I could see it being a dual faction expansion. I could definitely see both of these being dual faction expansions. I really, Gar Saxon, in my opinion, is more of an Imperial than a Shadow Collective character. We had a lot more screen time with him in Star Wars Rebels being an Imperial agent. Whether you, I mean, I could see Commander or Operative. I could see both, and the same thing with the Mandalorian Super Commandos. I mean, well, you probably have more, definitely more under the Clone Wars, working with Maul and all of the Mandalorian stuff that happened in the Clone Wars, but you still have a lot of that being used by the Empire, and I think that was I think the first time I heard the term Super Commando, Mandalorian Super Commando, was in Star Wars Rebels. So I don't know if that's just me, or I'll have to look that up later, I guess. But so I kind of think of both of these as being definitely ought to be playable by the Empire, but we'll see. They obviously are related to the Shadow Collective, and of course with of course, you know, our season 7 of Star Wars, the Clone Wars season 7, we definitely got to see Gar Saxon, Rook Cast, and all of the Mandalorians in there. And so we already know that Rook Cast is coming. She should be in the core box, though. So what kind of character is Gar Saxon going to be? Well, I think he's definitely going to be a character that is a little bit different than Maul, is my guess. I think he is going to be somebody who's more ranged focused, more like maybe an Iden Versio type of character, to kind of give a little bit of a different play style to the Shadow Collective. If you wanted to have him be a leader in that collective, I also do think that he should be able to equip the Darksaber, because of the fact that they talked about Maul, right? Maul can be a commander if he has the Darksaber, or operative if he doesn't have the Darksaber for the new Maul. And that is really interesting to me, because it's like, well, so that means that, all right, we already have a Darksaber in game. Sabine Wren can equip it. Are we going to get is the Darksaber going to be the same, but that comes in here, but only Maul can equip it? Or is it going to be like open-ended enough that like only certain characters can equip it? All right, and I think that would be really cool. Only equipable by Mandalorians, maybe. I don't know how they'll do it. Maybe it'll have its own rules reference, and I think that would be fine. I would be okay with that. But I would like for it to at least say who can use it. Like only equipable by Maul, Sabine. You might as well, if you're making an updated version, if it's the same Darksaber. If they're going to make a different Darksaber, like if they're going to give it different stats depending on who uses it, then they would have to make a different one for each person. And I guess that's another way to do it too. But we know that he can use it because he uses it in Star Wars Rebels. He uses it to fight Sidine, and of course it's won by Sabine Wren, spoiler alert, but in combat. Won by Creed. Not Creed, the band. They didn't ever pick up the Darksaber. But yeah, so I think it'd be really interesting, because he definitely wields it, and he fought well. So, I definitely think he should be able to use the Darksaber. There's not that many characters that we see wield the Darksaber in combat. Well, I guess because it's become so popular with live action, there are certainly more characters that we see doing it nowadays. But I guess that's so that's some of my predictions, right? I think we are going to see Gar Saxon be able to pick up the Darksaber and become a commander if he uses the Darksaber. I would also venture to guess that maybe one day we'll see Sabine, a commander in a battle force, wielding the Darksaber as well. So again, really cool stuff. I can't wait for all these previews to officially begin, because I want to see how the Darksaber is kind of reworked for Shadow Collective. I can't wait to see a little bit more about this, and if there are any other expansions. We already know that there's a Pikes. We already know that there'll probably be a Black Sun expansion. We already know now that there's Mandalorian Super Commandos, and now a Gar Saxon, which is the first one that does not come in the Shadow Collective box that we know of. Although maybe it does, but it wouldn't make sense, right? If it came in there, see, if he's a unique, it wouldn't make sense, right? So yeah, he seems to be the first one that's exterior. Is there also going to be those swoop bikes that we saw during last mini extravaganza? Are they also coming out during this wave? Or are they for a follow-up wave? I don't know. I have questions. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. We do have mini extravaganza coming up in June, and there is the battle forces for the original 4 faction battle forces are going to be coming out before that. So it could be as early as April, might be May. I wouldn't be surprised if they waited until about May the 4th and released the battle forces then. That's my guess. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Gar Saxon, Mandalorians, leaked. It's exciting. Let me know your predictions, your theories. Of course, they're all going to have jetpacks, so they'll all have jump and probably red saves, and many of them will probably be speed 3, if not all of them. Gosh, can you imagine a battle force of just all Mandalorians? It could be insane. It could be absolutely insane. I don't know if we'll actually see it. It might be too strong to be its own thing. We'll see. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today. I want to thank you all so much for hanging out with me today. Big thanks to my patrons. You guys are awesome and help make this all possible. Look for some more giveaways coming up very soon on Patreon. I will talk to you guys later. Thank you so much, and as always, may the Force be with you.